there is a simple truth that most people overlook, and once you understand it, your whole way of seeing life begins to change. The secret to creating a better life is not something hidden far away or reserved for a few special people. It is something you already have access to every single day in your thoughts and in your words. What you say to yourself quietly, what you repeat in your mind, and what you believe about your life, all of it is shaping your reality more than you realize. Many people search outside for answers, but the real shift begins inside. When your inner world changes, your outer world slowly begins to follow. This is the foundation of what made Louise Hay's teachings so powerful in life, changing for millions of people around the world. She believed that life responds to the energy of your thoughts, especially the thoughts you repeat daily. And once you see this clearly, you start to understand that miracles are not rare events. They begin with a simple shift in the way you think, speak, and believe about yourself and your life. When we talk about manifestation, it is not about something magical happening without reason. It is about understanding how your mind quietly shapes the way you experience life. Every person carries thoughts all day long, and most of the time, they don't even notice them. But those thoughts are not powerless. They are slowly building your emotions, your decisions, and even the direction your life moves in. Manifestation simply means that what you focus on repeatedly starts to feel real in your inner world first. And once it feels real inside, it begins to influence what you notice, what you attract, and how you respond to situations. If your thoughts are filled with doubt or fear, life will feel heavy. But if your thoughts are filled with hope, peace, and belief, your experience begins to feel lighter and more open. This is not about forcing results. It is about gently guiding your mind into a better space. The law of attraction is often described as the idea that like energy attracts like energy. In simple terms, what you consistently think and feel becomes the lens through which you see your world. And over time, that lens shapes your reality in ways most people do not realize at first. Healing and transformation often begin in a place most people ignore. The way they speak to themselves every single day. Many people do not realize that their inner voice is constantly shaping how they feel, how they react, and how they see their life. When this inner voice is harsh, life starts to feel heavy. When it is kind and supportive, everything slowly begins to feel more possible. The idea behind this teaching is simple. The thoughts you repeat again and again do not stay just thoughts. They slowly turn into beliefs, and those beliefs quietly influence your choices, your confidence, and the energy you bring into each day. This is why the same situation can feel very different depending on your mindset. Instead of focusing on problems, the focus shifts toward changing the inner dialogue. By consciously choosing better words, softer thoughts, and more supportive beliefs, a person begins to create a new mental foundation. Over time, this new foundation starts to replace old fear-based thinking. This approach is not about forcing positivity. It is about gently training the mind to think in a way that supports healing, peace, and growth. And when the mind begins to change, life naturally starts to follow that change in quiet but powerful ways. The real secret behind this practice is surprisingly simple, yet most people overlook it because it feels too easy to be powerful. It is the habit of consciously choosing your thoughts and words every single day, especially in moments when your mind would normally go into doubt, fear, or negativity. Instead of allowing automatic negative thinking to take control, you begin to gently replace it with intentional, supportive thoughts. This is not something that changes your life in one moment. It is something that works through repetition. When a person repeatedly tells themselves positive, calming, and encouraging statements, the mind slowly starts to accept those statements as truth. Over time, this changes the way a person feels about themselves, their situation, and their future. The secret is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Even when life feels uncertain, the practice is to return again and again to thoughts that bring peace instead of pressure. This creates a new pattern in the mind, where hope becomes stronger than fear and trust becomes stronger than doubt. By doing this daily, a person begins to shift their inner world. And as the inner world shifts, their actions, decisions, and energy also begin to change naturally, without force. The power of daily affirmations lies in how gently they reshape the mind over time. When a person repeats positive statements again and again, they are not just saying words, they are slowly training their thinking. The mind begins to listen, even when it does not fully believe at the start. And with repetition, those words start to feel more natural, more familiar, and more real. At first, it may feel simple or even strange to speak positively when life does not seem perfect. But this is where the real change begins. Each affirmation acts like a small reminder to the mind that a different way of thinking is possible. Instead of focusing on what is missing, the attention slowly shifts toward what is possible. Over time, these repeated thoughts begin to form new mental patterns. The brain starts to respond differently to challenges, stress, and opportunities. A person may notice that they react with more calmness, more hope, and more confidence than before. This process is not instant, but it is powerful because it works quietly in the background. Day by day, the mind becomes more aligned with supportive and positive thinking, and this inner shift gradually reflects in how life is experienced. When a person begins to change their thoughts, one of the biggest shifts that happens inside is the movement from fear to trust. Fear often comes from overthinking the future, expecting problems, or believing that things will not work out. It creates stress in the mind and makes everything feel more difficult than it really is. But through consistent positive thinking and affirmations, the mind slowly learns a different way to respond. Instead of reacting with fear, it starts to pause and create space for calmness. This is where trust begins to grow. Trust does not mean that challenges disappear, but it means you begin to believe that you can handle them, and that life is not always working against you. As this trust becomes stronger, the inner pressure starts to reduce. The mind feels lighter, and decisions become clearer. You stop constantly expecting the worst and start allowing room for better outcomes. This change in mindset does not happen overnight, but it builds step by step through daily practice. Over time, fear loses its control, and a deeper sense of peace begins to take its place. And in that peaceful state, life feels less like a struggle and more like a flow. Bringing this practice into daily life does not need to be complicated. The most important thing is consistency, not perfection. You can begin by simply taking a few quiet moments each day to speak kind and positive words to yourself. It can be in the morning when you wake up, during a calm moment in the day, or before you go to sleep at night. The key is to make it a natural habit, like brushing your teeth or drinking water. You are gently reminding your mind that it is safe, supported, and capable of positive change. Even a few minutes of focused positive thinking can slowly start to shift your inner state. You can repeat simple statements that feel meaningful to you, such as believing that good things are coming, or that you are learning to trust life more each day. What matters most is not the exact words, but the feeling behind them. The more you connect emotionally with the words, the deeper the effect becomes over time. With daily practice, this becomes a quiet but powerful part of your routine. It slowly builds a stronger mindset, helping you stay more balanced, calm, and positive even when life feels uncertain. Even though this practice is simple, many people do not see results because they make a few common mistakes along the way. One of the biggest mistakes is expecting immediate change. The mind does not transform overnight. It needs time, repetition, and patience to slowly accept new ways of thinking. Another common mistake is inconsistency. People may start with motivation for a few days, but then stop when they do not see quick results. This breaks the flow of the practice. Real change happens when you continue even when it feels slow or when you are not fully convinced yet. Some people also repeat positive words while still deeply focusing on negative thoughts the rest of the day. This creates confusion in the mind. For affirmations to work more effectively, they need to be supported by a general effort to notice and reduce negative self-talk throughout the day. The most important understanding is that this is a gradual process. It is not about forcing your mind to change quickly, but about gently guiding it again and again. When patience, consistency, and awareness come together, the practice becomes much more powerful over time. As this practice continues over time, many people begin to notice subtle but meaningful changes in their daily life. It may not always be dramatic at first, but small shifts start to appear in the way they think, feel, and respond to situations. The mind becomes less reactive and more calm, even during stressful moments. people often find that they start feeling more hopeful and more open to possibilities they may have ignored before. Instead of immediately focusing on what could go wrong, the mind begins to consider what could go right. This simple shift creates a lighter emotional state and a more balanced way of thinking. Confidence also begins to grow naturally. It does not come from forcing positivity, but from repeated inner support and encouragement. Over time, a person starts to trust themselves more and handle challenges with greater ease than before. Most importantly, life starts to feel less heavy. There is a quiet sense of peace that builds inside as the constant noise of fear and doubt slowly reduces. This is how inner change gently reflects outward, shaping a more peaceful and positive experience of life. In the end, the real power of this practice is not about changing everything outside overnight, but about slowly transforming what is happening within you. When your thoughts become kinder, your words become more supportive, and your mind learns to trust life again, everything around you begins to feel different in its own natural way. You do not need to rush this process. Just stay consistent, stay patient, and keep returning to thoughts that bring peace instead of pressure. Over time, this simple habit can gently guide your mind toward a more positive and balanced state of being. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on it and allow it to stay in your thoughts today. And if you found value in this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps this message reach more people who may need it.